Okay, I think it's recording right now. So we are gonna go. And if it didn't record, for everybody who's not here, tell them I'm sorry because I did try to record. Okay, so when I asked in the group what y'all wanted to train on, I think this was probably the most common one that everybody was asking questions about, and I thought probably the most important because I tend to be really extra. And I've already budgeted for everything that I do in my business, but I don't want for anybody who's just joining or they've only been with us for a couple of days, I don't want them seeing all the pictures of things that I'm doing and getting overwhelmed and feeling like they have to try to keep up with me, because I know everybody's budget is different. And since I've been with Scentsy for so long, I've made it a goal to have my commissions cover everything that I do so that I'm not coming out of pocket. But it hasn't always been this way. And so I want to basically give y'all some ideas of some things that I started out with and some things that I think worked really well and that you can try. And so the bottom line is you have to figure out what's going to work for you, and it's going to be different for everybody. So I am extremely active in my Facebook VIP group, but I realize that everybody's not as active on Facebook. Maybe you like text messages, maybe you like email, maybe you like Instagram. So the key really is to figure out what's your sweet spot where you already know you're going to be. And coupled with that, you have to figure out where your customers are going to be as well, because it doesn't do you any good to create this beautiful email newsletter if the majority of your customers never check their email. You know what I mean? So you have to figure out what your sweet spot is, and you have to also marry that to where your customers are going to be. That way, you know the information that you're creating is getting to them. So bottom line, this is just Deidre's in the military, but we have this thing called bluff. It's bottom line up front. So I'm gonna give you a lot of tips, but the bottom line is you just got to figure out a way to keep in contact with your customers, especially if you want them coming back to keep ordering from you. And so when I go through some of these tips, just another thing, when I go through some of these tips, you might see something and you might be like, well, that's nothing new. I do this, or I have this. I want you to challenge yourself to ask, not do I already know this, but ask yourself, how well do I do this? If I already know this tool exists, have I used it? Have I tried it? And if so, are there some things that I can tweak? So don't allow yourself to kind of get into that mind frame of, I already know this. This isn't telling me nothing new. Challenge yourself to say, okay, if I know this, have I used it? And if not, then how can I implement this into my business? Okay, so the first way, and what I think is probably the easiest way, is the Scentsy Newsletter. And this one I think is the easiest because it's already done for you. Every month, like clockwork, Scentsy's going to already send this out to your customers. You can customize it, which is, your customizations are going to be limited, which if you're not really into graphics or links and any of that extra stuff, then this is probably perfect for you because there's not a lot that you have to do. But this one is already done for you. It's so easy. As long as you are subscribed to the PWS, which is $10 a month, it's included. And so what you would have to do is whenever you have a customer, one thing that I used to do when I first started, which I kick myself for now, is when people would send me orders, I would just go in and place their order, and I would just put in my phone number, my email address. I didn't really get all of their info. And so what happens is every time Scentsy sends out their newsletter, I'm getting 15 newsletters, and none of that stuff is going to my customer. So it's really crucial that if you go this route, you have to keep your customers' information accurate and updated. And it needs to be their information, not yours. One of the cons is that there is a deadline. So I think it's like 2 days before they actually send it out. So if you don't get in there before the deadline, then you kind of miss the opportunity to customize it. And then your newsletter is just going to look like everybody else's. But if you have nothing else in the world, I say start with this one. Go in and subscribe your people. You should be able to log into the workstation and see the people that have ordered from you. And you can go into their information from the workstation and subscribe them to the newsletter. Now, if they opt out, you won't be able to add them back, but you can at least go in and start that. And so if you have any specials, say you want to do a mystery host drawing, or you want to have a mystery box, or just any of those specials that you're not supposed to announce in public, you can put them in the newsletter because it's just going to one person. Only one set of eyes are going to see it. So anything that you want to tell your people, you can put it in this newsletter. So I started with this one because I think it's the best, it's the easiest. If you are not creative, Scentsy has already done it for you. And as you can see, this is an example of one that I got from the Harvest collection. I mean, they have nice photos as well. So that's the first one. The second one, now, and you'll see on a lot of these, I try to tell you if there's a cost and if it's high or low, kind of like you would see on a restaurant website. So this one can be a low cost or it could be a high cost depending on which way you go. And these are the warmer and the scent of the month brochures. Now on the low cost, you can log into your workstation and just look for the brochures. You get 50 of the brochures. They're usually about $5 for some reason right now. Both October and November are on sale for $2.70. Super, super cheap. And I would challenge you to go a little bit further than that if you could spare it and get this Rub and Smell stickers. So you get 72 stickers, which is a ton of stickers, again, for $2.70 because both October and November are on sale right now. Mama, are you trying to tell me something? Can you unmute?
I was just trying to say I love those stickers.
Oh yeah, the stickers are the bomb. And I'll show you another way that you can use them in a couple of slides right now. But you can put this, you can either use the Rub and Smell stickers to put on the brochure. There's postcards that I'll show you a little bit later that you can put the sticker, like you can just use the stickers in so many ways. I put them on packages, on envelopes. If you have business cards, you can put them on business cards. I mean, they go so far. So I definitely recommend every month, if you can, get these brochures and get these stickers. And the great thing I think about the warmer and the scent of the month is it gives you an excuse to reach out to people. So if you think about some of the companies who don't have new releases every month, you kind of got to make up a reason to reach out to them, to tell them something new. But Scentsy's giving it like, hey, I don't know if you saw this new warmer's coming out. Here's this new scent that I know you've never smelled before. It's an exclusive because it's not even out yet. So I want to give it to you just so you can try it out, right? Everybody loves to be ahead of the know and to be exclusive.
Yeah, I was going to say it is an expense, but it's well worth it. Can you guys hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I love it. I take them to work every month and they look forward to them. So it's worth the expense and you get the PRV for that month.
Yep. And you, so this one, just if you take the cheap route, so with the brochures and the stickers, I do recommend getting them both. It's $5.40 plus tax and shipping. So your shipping is going to be either $8 or $6 depending on where you are. So that's definitely on the low end. And then even if that's all that you put together, you can put all of that in a regular envelope and mail it for a regular stamp. So you have the cost of the brochures, the cost of your stickers, the cost of your envelopes and your stamps. In my opinion, again, everybody's budget is different, but I think this is probably one of the most cost-effective ways to get the smell in front of your customer. And at the same time, if you look on the back of the brochure, it has all of the previous scents of the months as well. So if you get a few months into this and you still have a couple left over, you can add those other scent of the month stickers to one brochure. So now they're able to smell more than one scent at a time. So really, I think it's super beneficial. I recommend everybody go this route because they say the smelling does the selling. So I can tell you all day what I think pomegranate smells like, but until you actually smell it yourself, it's not going to be the same. So this is a really creative way to get the smell in front of them. Now, if you want to go, and I say on the higher end, and just for the scent of the month kit, it's not, I say it's mid-level, and then the warmer of the month kit is on the higher level. You can get, so the warmer of the month kit, you get the warmer, right now you get 3 bars, you get a brick, you get a room spray, and you get those brochures and those stickers. And so that typically runs about $80 to $85 a month plus tax and shipping, depending on what the cost of the warmer is. Now the mid-level cost on this one, we get to see them all ahead of time, right? So on 1 November, Scentsy will show us what December's special is going to be. Even though it's not available, they'll go ahead and show you what it's going to be. And so say if it's a warmer and you're like, I'm not really feeling that warmer. If I can't sell it, I don't want to be stuck with it. you can opt to only get the scent of the month kit. And that one is going to be $35 plus tax and shipping. And so in the scent of the month kit, you get the brochures, you get the stickers, 3 bars in the bricks, and you get a room spray. It's well worth it. And hopefully here soon we'll go back to getting 9 bars. So even if you just sell those 9 bars, $6 a piece, you've made your money back for what you spent on the kit. So that's one. If you can swing it, again, that's mid-level because it does cost $35 plus tax and shipping. If you can get it, then that's another really good one to invest in. Okay, here's the next one. It's text messages. Now, if you have an older clientele, text messages might not work for you, right? But if you have younger, say like the millennial generation or later, right, Gen Z, they do everything via text messaging. So this one might really work well for you. The cost is free, right? If you just use your regular cell phone, but there are apps where you can schedule text messages. You can do bulk text messages. So say if you have 25 customers that you want to tell something and you don't want to draft up 25 different text messages, you can use one of these apps, put it in there one time, add all your contacts, and hit send, and bam, it sends it out to everybody. And you can also personalize it so that even though you're sending 25 text messages at one time, it shows up and it says, "Hey Carla, hey Deidre," like it looks like it's coming straight to them, so they don't necessarily know that you just put them in this program to automatically send it out. So that's something to something to consider. So the apps, hit them up, I believe is free. I did download it, but I haven't really used it quite a bit, but I feel like it's free. Remind, I think Remind is free as well. Remind, you'll see a lot of people probably already have, because a lot of the schools use that. I think it was intended to be a tool for teachers, but you can go in there and use that as well. And then Project Broadcast, I just looked that up this morning. It's like $10 a month. And so that's what you'll see a lot of the leaders with Scentsy will use Project Broadcast. But like I said, I mean, you can do it for free. Go into the Notepad app on your phone, draft up your message, and then go over to your text message app and just do it that way. If you don't want to spend the money, $10 a month. I don't want to spend $10 a month right now. Mama, are you trying to say something?
I was going to ask you, which one are you using?
I'm just using individual text because my people don't really text. So what I did recently was I created a Google form to have everybody update their contact list. And one of the questions in the Google form was, how do you want to be contacted? And literally 99% of my people said Facebook Messenger or VIP group. I literally had one person say text message, and I had one person say email. So it wasn't really worth it to me to invest in any of these other ones because my people aren't using it.
What is Shauna doing in Oklahoma City? Oh, sorry. I got kind of, sorry, Sally. Are we going to have training over the Google Forms?
Yeah, I can schedule that as another one. Okay, we're halfway through. So if you do text messages, just remember this is going straight to somebody's cell phone, so don't spam. So I wouldn't, send a text message every single day. Maybe once a week, once every other week. You just really want to make sure that you're only hitting those, the really important. And just like email, don't make it super long to where they got to scroll through multiple screens just to read your text message. You want to keep it short and sweet, and don't spam, because otherwise people will block you. All right, so even though Scentsy does the newsletter for you, you can do your own. And so, again, cost on this one being free, you can just simply go into Yahoo Mail, go into Gmail, and create your own email newsletter. Or just like the text messages, there are programs where you can go and do it. You can get fancy, like you see the pictures here. You can add photos, you can add buttons, links, format your text. I mean, if you're feeling froggy and you want to get a little bit, fancy with it, then you can try some of these other programs. Obviously, if you just use the email that you already have, it's going to be free, right? Because it's just a system that you already have and that you already use. And then you probably just have to use like a blind carbon copy or something like that, so you don't have everybody seeing each other. You know what I mean? You don't have everybody seeing that who else you're sending it to. MailChimp, they do have a free service. So if you want to try, again, just like Project Broadcast, if you want to create a contact list and load everybody in there and then just send out one email blast and it hits all of your customers, MailChimp does have a free one. There's Constant Contact, which I believe they have if it's not free, you can at least try a free trial. And I know they have a limit. So like say the free version, maybe you can only send it up to 50 people or to 100 people. It's been a while since I tried Constant Contact. I do remember there was a small fee, but I don't remember exactly what it was. But that's an option if it's one that you want to try. The one that I use right now is Flowdesk. Because I feel like the templates are just really easy. They have a bunch of different templates that you can go on there and just look. I change up the colors. I throw in some different pictures other than just the candid ones that they give me. And then I send it out. And you can see all three pictures there. Those are all three different email newsletters that I've sent out to my customers. So typically, even though most of my people said they want to be contacted through Facebook, I'll still do an email newsletter. I'm not necessarily regular with it, but I will still send it out. And another good thing about using a service versus just, Gmail or Yahoo is that in Flowdesk, I can go and look at they're called campaigns. So I can go and look at previous campaigns or emails that I've sent, and I can see the percentage of people that opened it. So I can see the percentage of people that opened it. If I had links in that email, I can see how many people clicked on what link. So it gives you a few more insights than you would have if you just sent a regular email through Gmail. Again, might be a little bit advanced. So if you're not really into, technology and all the different programs and, designing newsletters, it's completely fine. Gmail works just fine. Just again, remember, don't spam. So if you send an email, you have to really be aware of like what the subject line is. So if you send a subject line and maybe it's all caps or it's super long, Gmail or Yahoo will block those automatically, so your customer will never see it. So again, it's best to just use plain language. Don't use a whole bunch of emojis. Don't use, hey girl and 6 or 7 exclamation points, because that's not how people normally talk. And so you don't want to get flagged to be for being spam. So this is a really good one, but again, just make sure that your people that they use email. Otherwise, you're just going to be sending it for no reason. And then especially with email, I think consistency is key. And so you might be thinking, well, I don't really know what to send an email. Well, here's a sample schedule of what your content schedule can look like for emails. So say the first week of the month, again, I've already told you that Scentsy's coming out with a new warmer and a new scent of the month. So that first week, it could be a picture, it could be a description of the scent of the month. Hey, check out what's new this month. Check out, what new releases are coming. On the 26th, we got NFL. On the 19th, we got the Disney villains. Like whatever new specials that are coming out, you can highlight this all in week 1. Week 2, give them a helpful tip. These are ways that you can change your wax. Don't pour it down the drain. Maybe you just find a picture. Maybe you want to get fancy and do a little video. Maybe you have pictures to show them what's the difference between an element warmer and a full-size warmer. Like there's so many tips that we take for granted, I think, because we are so immersed in Scentsy that just the average person doesn't know. So week 2, you could give them a helpful tip. You could mix it up and give them a fun idea. Some people don't know, or maybe they don't think about that you can blend wax. And so if you go into some of the other groups, like the graphics chicks groups, people are already talking about the mixes that they're making in there. Just grab one of the one of the photos or something, get an idea from that group and put it in a newsletter. Hey, you can mix caramel apple craze and apples and cinnamon sticks and make a caramel apple for Halloween. Just make it fun. But that could be your week 2 email. And then week 3, product spotlight. This is a really good one. If you go, you can even just go to the Scentsy website, but if you're on Instagram and you search for the hashtag Scentsy Snapshot, you will see some beautiful, beautiful photos that people have taken themselves in their homes, and they show how they decorate their houses with their Scentsy warmers. And these photos are so much better than the ones you get in the marketing section of the website. So week 3, maybe you know, I'm not necessarily a cow person, but I saw this beautiful picture of how somebody had this farmhouse design and they put the cow on their coffee bar, and this gives me all the Chip and Jo vibes. Maybe you put that into an email and you send it out week 3. You give people ideas on how they can style their warmers. And you could even, I mean, this one could be so fun. You could give them different, you know, show them farmhouse, show them glam, right? If I think of glam, I'm thinking maybe a diffuser, maybe the chard warmer, right? It's all about bling. Just, you know, you can get creative and give them a different product spotlight. Since we know people already love warmers and wax, maybe you don't tell them about warmers and wax. Maybe you tell them about the pods, right? Maybe you tell them about the wall fan diffusers, the mini fan diffusers. Maybe you tell them about the fragrance flower. Like, pick something else that, you know, the cleaning products, right? Right now we have the peppermint bundle or the cider mill bundle. Both of those things, especially the cider mill bundle, I think it's the bomb, right? Maybe that's something that you tell them about that particular week. So get creative week 3, and then week 4, maybe if you're making samples for the next month, or if you made samples of one of these special bundles, maybe you want to do a mystery box. Like, anything that you want to tell your customers, maybe you can do that in week 4. And again, this is something that can also be done in a Facebook group. So if you do have a Facebook group and you're like, I don't really know what to post, you can take something like this and kind of create a content schedule for your VIP group, and it will work just the same. But again, the key is that you want to be consistent, because people will start to expect. And if you do it well, they even start to look forward to what other ideas you're going to come up with. All right, postcards. This is another done for you. Thanks to our wonderful star director, Kimberly Polita. This girl, she creates something new every day, like literally every day. I told her, I said, you just like to create. She gets bored if she doesn't have something to create. But we benefit from that, because all of the things that she creates, she shares in the Fragrance Collective group. And you can just go and pull those. So like these postcards, she created those. It doesn't have her information anywhere on it. You can take it and print it out as is. You can edit it and put your information on it, but these are postcards that you can send just like this. The cost is very low. Basically the cost of ink, paper, and a stamp, you can put a 35-cent postcard stamp on these, and just send it out just like this. And then if you look in the Fragrance Collective group, you'll notice she comes out with 2 different types of cards. Well, 3 different types, really. There's the two that you see here. And then she also has a version that looks like the bottom one, to where she tells you, put the scratch and sniff sticker right here, right? So you have this postcard. It's telling them about 3 different product releases. Oh, and you can still put this rub and sniff sticker on it so they can smell something at the same time. This one is super, super, super cost effective. If you don't have 50 customers, you're not stuck with 50 brochures. Maybe you only have 6 customers, so you just print out 6 postcards. So super cost effective. You can use regular cardstock, or you can get the Avery Makes postcards. It's 4 postcards to a sheet. And you can just print them out that way. I've done both. I can't really tell a difference between either one. But for some of my customers who haven't ordered in 3 or 4 months, they get a postcard, just because it's only 35 cents. It's not costing me anything. And if I run out of rub and smell stickers, I can still send it just like this. And it's really, it's still a really beautiful postcard. So, those are the easiest, I think, and the cheapest ways that I gave y'all. Just, again, as I said in the beginning, just make sure it's mandatory that you pick, if you want to make money, right? Because we're here to make money. Nobody joined to spend money. And I'm all about, trust me, I'm all about making money. If it don't make dollars, like they said, it don't make sense. You got to figure out what works for you. You can't just have people order and then they never hear from you again, because what's going to happen is they're probably going to find another Scentsy consultant, somebody they see on their timeline, they're going to order from them. You really want them to come back to you. That's my goal with customer service. I need to make sure that when anybody hears Scentsy, they think Smelly Shelly, like automatically they're coming back to me. And if somebody else steals my customers, then I'm gonna have to give them a hand clap, because they are gonna have to work hard to steal somebody from me. And that's my goal. I think it should be your goal too, because that's really how you build customer loyalty. And in that, you have to make sure you're letting them know what's coming out, but you're also finding a way to help them experience what these scents are. So even though working your business, even though it's mandatory, it doesn't have to break the bank. So just figure out, what can you budget for? If you really want to get like the scent of the month kit, figure out, okay, how many 6-packs do I need to sell each month so that I can earn this much money in commissions to make sure that I can get these samples again, so you don't have to come out of your own pocket, because that's always the goal. Get creative, have fun, figure out your sweet spot. It does no good for you to build an email list if you don't even check your own email, right? So think about what your own habits are. If you're on Facebook every day, if you're on Instagram every day, you're always posting stories, tell your customers to follow you on Instagram. Tell them to check your stories, and just start, as you change your wax, as you load up your diffuser, as you change out your decor from fall to Christmas, take pictures, take small videos, and just bring them along. It doesn't have to be this big production. They just want to see what you're doing, right? They just want to be involved, and that's really what you're looking for. So do y'all have any questions, anything that I didn't answer? No questions mean I answered everything for y'all.
I was about to ask, would you say those scratch and sniffs are like the better option right now because of COVID, like people not being able to actually have access to smell them physically?
I think you would either the rub and smell stickers or the wax. Like I don't know. The testers, in my opinion, are only for me right now, right? Because even if somebody's local, because of COVID, if we think about COVID, it's a respiratory thing. I don't want you sticking your nose, right? I don't want you sticking your nose in anything that I have. So my testers, nobody gets to see my testers but me. And that's only for if you ask me, what does honey pear cider smell like? I can go and smell it real quick and then try to describe it to you. But I think if you're really trying to do the cheapest method, you want to get the rub and smell stickers. If you can swing it to get a bar of wax, then try the wax, because there's a way that you can cut the wax in super thin, little shavings or slivers, and still put that in an envelope and send it for one stamp. So if nothing else, get the rub and smell stickers, $2.70, and you get 72 of them. Stick them on an envelope and be done with it. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. What else? All right, I'm gonna try to see if I can stop recording.